I just recorded a voice note about the differences between men and women. And honestly, this is probably the number one thing that excites me the most about relationship coaching and what I've learned. And it's because there's so much to learn, and it's so interesting how different we are. And yeah, I love it because once you understand it, you can actually kind of work with it and have such better relationships and a harmonious relationship. So today, leaning onto this, I want to share more about what I've learned from my coaches are the big needs that a man needs to feel and wants to feel in a relationship. And I'm gonna go through it one by one, trying to explain it the best I can. So starting with like respect. Respect is the number one thing, not even love. Love is sometimes not even on the list of the things he needs. Obviously everyone needs love, but respect is what he's really looking for. And I'm breaking a little bit more down how he will feel respected. And obviously, if you're a man listening to this, I would really love your insight because who better to ask than men? All right, I'm going to start. So receiving his providing. Every man is already providing in the way he can. And that really looks different to every man. Some love providing through financial or emotional safety, protecting you. Every man is providing differently. They used to go out there hunting and providing food. So it really, as a woman, it is important that you know for yourself first what it is that is important to you to be provided for. So if you're a woman who would love to raise a family together with your man and you want to be a stay-at-home mom and not work, then you need someone who wants to provide financially and so on and so forth. So you need to understand what you want, what is important to you first, and then pick a man who is completely aligned with that. And because the thing is, we oftentimes as a woman not really understanding that concept, we want men to change and we think we can change them. But what I advise you to do is pick a man exactly and who aligns with their things and shows you, not tells you, but shows you who he is and what the gifts he wants to provide. And then receiving that. Like as a woman, it's so important that we receive that, and that's a big need. He needs to hear it, and he needs to see that you're authentically enjoying his providing, whatever he provides. So I love it when you do XYZ. Thank you for how you do this, or how you solve our problems, or I respect how you do XYZ. Like, be specific what you really respect. Or I trust you because, and then, yeah, saying like receiving that. And receiving is not just like being passive, but you must be actively telling him. And if you're excited and feel emotional, and like allow that to come through. Like, we are human beings and we want to know that whatever we bring and whatever we do for each other is actually received. So I used to be, for example, back in the day, like if you would have told me, I didn't know that information like almost 2 years ago, or like 1.5 years ago, I received that information. But before that, if someone would give me money, I would be rejecting that. And rejecting a man's gifts it will not help you. It is actually will create a bitterness, and like he will think that whatever he does for you is not enough. Whatever he is like sharing with you is not going to be received. So I can't win with you. So I can't make you happy, which is, by the way, what most men love to do, because that's exactly actually why they provide. They want a harmonious, happy relationship. And if they see that they whatever they do can't have a positive effect on you, then they find someone else who does. So receiving is important. And you must be vocal about this. You must really share your excitement with them if you feel that. And that's why it's important that you know what actually would make you feel happy. All right, the next thing is being easy. And I'm telling you, it would have triggered me if someone would have told me that before. But being like, if someone tells me you're easy, it's now a compliment to me, a big compliment, just because it actually makes your life so much better. Here's what I mean. If you tell him what you need and give him a blueprint, again, then he will understand what would make him win with you. So for example, if you tell him flowers every week or every month, whatever you want, would make me feel really excited. And then if he actually if he listens to that and does that, by the way, if you don't hear anything from a week or a month, like, I would actually not say it once and then not nag, and see if he wants to show up for that. If he doesn't show up at all for your needs, flowers is just an example, but if he doesn't show up for your needs, then you need to think for yourself if you want to stay in that relationship. But what if you can be absolutely sure that you gave him your blueprint? And men, I told this in my other voice note, but men speak literally and we speak poetically, we women. So I don't believe in that bullshit of if he would love me, he just would know. He would just know it would make me happy, and I don't want to tell him, so otherwise it's not a surprise or whatever. You need to tell him what you need and want. So let him win with you. And another example I have is sharing your needs. For example, for me, although I'm traveling with my partner and we live pretty 24/7 together we are always together, but we have not moved in together yet, in a place, or we'll look into a car, but we have not officially moved anywhere together. And I told him, I do want marriage, but I actually just want to move in together with you if we're married first, because that's I want that commitment before. So instead of now, and then he was asking back, do you desire that right now, or will that have time? And I gave him the time frame that I think in that amount of time I would really love to be married. And if by then that's not the case, then I'll need to find someone who wants to be married too. And then we had this conversation, and after that, I'm not now planning on nagging or telling him twice or 3 or 4 times or giving him hints. No, I told him, he understood, and if he will then show up in that time frame or whatever, then awesome, incredible. I'm actually really cherishing that, because he took the time to decide for himself, and by also respecting my boundary. And I'm not planning on telling him that twice. But I gave him the blueprint how to win with me. I gave him I don't let him be in the dark, because if I would be doing that and I assume in 3 years he would do that and he doesn't do that, I would be upset. So now the cards are on the table. It's clear to both of us what I want, and yeah, and so it's just awesomely clear, and I feel good with that. And same thing with little things, like if you want quality time, or and then just like tell him exactly what that is. Be easy, that so that he can't read your mind. So yeah, being easy, just so he knows in what state you are. Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling good? Tell him, and he will absolutely enjoy that, because most women are not easy with their men. They don't communicate exactly how they feel and what they need in that situation. So that's one big thing that a man needs to feel in a relationship, for it to feel clear and good about it. The next thing is support him. A man wants to feel supported, and you can support him in the ways you like to. So be his cheerleader in when he is winning on something, and if it's just a game, or be his cheerleader in like whatever he's accomplishing in his job and his work, which is oftentimes really important for men. In his what do you call it, in his hobbies, and just supporting him in what he feels is important to him. And that is a big one. And supporting him in his emotions as well. If he's opening up to you, then there's no need to fix anything, just to sit and listen, and to actually not say anything in that moment. This is a whole other topic that I could go into, but yeah, they're like, usually men solve their issues on their own by when they come to you with their emotions. There's nothing you need to do as usual, unless he asks. But it's just, he wants to be seen and in that situation, and that you can do that by just simply being there, listening, giving him a hug, and telling him you understand. That's it. Next thing is purpose. So most men, if not all, they're thriving on a certain purpose. Sometimes it takes them a long time to find their purpose, or they switch from one purpose to the next purpose. That really, by the way, if you're listening to this and you're interested on the evolution on men, there's a really good book that I think it's called Evolution on Men, or it's from Alison Armstrong. She's my favorite art author when it comes to relationship advice. Definitely check that out. So allow yourself to need him. Like men, they do need a purpose in their work, but they also need a purpose in a relationship. Like they want to be your providers. If he offers his gifts, he wants you to receive them. If he offers to help, receive it. Like they want to be purposeful in the relationship. So accepting that and not needing to be the woman who does everything herself, and being independent, like in all the issues, you can definitely outsource that also to him, and he will feel really cherished, that you trust that he can support you as well. The next thing is elevating him, practicing respect, lift him up, and you can do this in really fun and flirty ways too. For example, if he's my partner yesterday, he was cutting wood, and I complimented him on his body, and he looked absolutely incredible, his arms. And when I told him that, he just like puffed his chest and showed me his arms even more. It was so funny, but it's lifting him up. And when I used to think back in the day, oh man, they just look at their own bodies and so selfish or whatever I would have thought back in the day, but they really did it for us to try to earn respect and to like do everything they can to feel validated or lifted. And if you can bring that out in him, even better. So I would say respect is obviously the number one thing. If you can tell him what you respect about him and what you love, and like what I said before, like you can share it with, I love it when you do this, or thank you for how you do this, I respect you for this and that, then it will really elevate him and bring the best out of him. Very similar to that complimenting him. Men usually never or very rarely get compliments. When it's so normal for us women, it's shocking how less they get compliments. So I started giving compliments to men. So be genuine. Important, I think, about compliments is that they're real. Be genuine about it. Get specific about it. If you see someone wearing a beautiful watch, tell him that, and then ask like, what made you like get this watch? Is there a story behind it, etc., etc. I really love your outfit. It looks really great on you, these colors. Men never receive these compliments, and like especially your partner cherishing with compliments. But I started going through this world now and just giving them some joy and complimenting them. That really goes a long way. And trust him. That's another big need in a relationship. Obviously goes for like all the things I'm saying obviously go both ways, but that's really crucial to a man, that he feels trusted because he's competent, or he feels trusted because he can really hold you in your own emotions. Or obviously don't trust every man. Really also pick a partner who you actually trust, because he gives you emotional safety, or that he's always sharing his real thoughts, or is transparent, whatever it is you need. But don't just trust any man. Like, it's really important that we go into dating with observing how they show up and not what they say. Obviously it's beautiful when they share and say things, but what's like, men show how they feel about you through their actions and not exactly what they say. So when they say something beautiful, amazing, soak it all in. You know, we women love that, but then also see what he is saying, what he is showing to you, like, does it actually match up? And that is a big, and if a man feels trusted, it brings out the best in him, and it leads to a harmonious relationship. And also, I mean, obviously men also make mistakes. We all make mistakes. But, like being calm about it and just telling him that's all right. Next time it's going to turn out differently or better. On to the next thing. And that is like, it just is okay that he's also realizing you're okay if he makes mistakes. But it's not an issue because he's also human. And that that you trust that next time it will be just better or different. And that you trust him leading the way, leading the relationship to where you both want it to go, and your both visions that come together will become a reality. So I think that is all for now, and I'm looking forward to what you have to say about this.